this week's episode, do you know the 2-generation rule? And what's it called again? Alexa, Siri, Google? I don't know. Before we get into the episode, please give me a cheeky little follow on Instagram, Miss Brightside25, and I'd love for you to give me a follow on TikTok and Facebook too. And I am Miss Brightside25 on them all. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Miss Brightside podcast. You've got me, Lisa Jones, and I'm in a mood to talk to you about something new. To be fair, I do love a little sing-song on you. I think, I don't know what it is. I just love a little sing-song. So thanks for putting up my singing. What have I been up to this week? Well, one of the things that have stuck out to me this week is Alexa. Now, if you've got an Alexa, a Siri, Google, now I have all three of these things. In my house, I've got Google. In Ryan's house, he's got Alexa. And obviously, we've both got Siri because we're not Androids. So we might have Gemini in the mix as well. And at one point this week, I called one device every single name. And I was like, I don't know what to call him in the end. Just answer me. And it made me laugh because it made me think of my nan. My nan, she used to go through all the grandkids' names. She used to be like, Lisa, Vanessa, what's your name? I'd be like, it's Lisa. Oh, yeah, that's what asked me a question. And I watched my mum, who was now a nan, do the same. She calls me all the wrong names. And it does make me giggle. It probably makes me smile. And what it's made me think this week is, do you know the names of your great-grandparents? I don't. And this is my point. I probably could guess some of them because I think their middle names were like passed down. Whereas I haven't got a middle name. So there's none of that passing down in my name generation. And it got me on to thinking all about phenomenon, if you've heard of it, you probably thought about it, is how quickly you get forgotten. Now this may come across quite sad, and this isn't meant in a sad way. This is trying to say to you in a positive light why we should live for the now. So there's a phenomenon and like an ideology, whatever it's blinking called the 3-generation rule or the grandfather rule. I'm going to call it the grandmother rule because I'm all about girl power. And what that suggests is that the details of a person's life usually fade within 2 to 3 generations because those passing on and telling the stories, which I really love, like that first-hand knowledge and spoken memories, are only get less and less with the more they tell stories. Now, I think we've lost a bit of that storytelling recently, and I think that is why, I think I've talked about it before, my favourite questions to ask people is, how did you meet? How did you meet your partner? Because it's always some unusual story. So I've said it to lots of my friends, and then they've gone and asked their grandparents and found out how their grandparents met, which is amazing. But what it's opened my eyes to and what I wanted to pass on to you guys is, and it's really made me, it's a bit scary thinking you're going to be forgotten. No one wants to be forgotten. Everyone wants to ideally live on forever in some shape or form. You know, whether you're religious, not religious, whatever your belief is, whether you believe there's an afterlife, not an afterlife, whatever it is, we just don't want to be forgotten, do we? So that took me on to thinking about, why do we care so much about what other people think of us? And I have talked a little bit about this in one of my other episodes, but I thought more about this week than ever is how, because I'm posting more on social media, about the fearful of why there's so many keyboard warriors, why people have got opinions on people's lives, what they do, how they spend their money. I feel like that's a really passionate one. Have you seen her down the street? She bought a new car. Oh, you know her mother's uncle's son's mother? Oh, you never guessed what he did. He ran away with his ex-wife's missus's cat. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, you will always find, as I talked about before, people have an opinion on you. But I really personally, at points in my life, let that affect my choices of maybe about what I wanted to do. And we really shouldn't let other people's thoughts, feelings, opinions judge what we're doing. So why do we let people guide us in a negative way at least, on what we should and shouldn't be doing, when we're going to be forgotten in 2 generations. So I've decided that I am going to live my life my own way, to my absolutely best of my ability, and try my absolute best to reach my dreams. Because life's too short. Chase those dreams. You got to dream big. You've heard me say it before. We've got to dream big. So, as you know, I've got my goal of my 500 followers by the end of the year. I think I'm going to do another little competition on Instagram because that's worked really well for me. And also, you'll laugh at this. I am going to Canada soon. Hopefully I'm going to get some people out there to come on the podcast when I'm out there, which I can't wait for. It's going international, darling. I'm going international. What that means is I'll get some different viewpoints from other places in the world, which I'm really excited about. I was like, do I go to Canada this year? Can I afford it? Like, I'm not saying get into debt. You know, when you make your life choices of chasing your dreams, sometimes healthy debt, and if you've done it tactfully to get you to where you need to be, there's nothing wrong with that either. You've got to expect it to accumulate, whatever the saying is. So as long as it's sensible debt and you know you can pay it back, then go for it. Do what you want to do. But my point is, it's made me think, yes, go and dream the dream big. And if there's anyone around you, like nana, grandpas, mama, dads, auntie, uncles, whatever they are, start asking them random questions that you've never asked. And more importantly, the whole thing about people being forgotten. I've never met some of my family members, but I talk about them like I know them because of the stories I've been told. And that for me is a bit like that film Coco. It's a fantastic film. If you haven't seen it, go and see it. Coco, the Disney film, is if a photo's on the hacienda and you're talked about, your spirit lives on forever. Well, technically, you do live on forever, wherever you believe in or not, because those stories are constantly being told. That technically is you're existing in that future because you're being talked about. So let's talk about some of our funny memories this week of our relatives, family, friends. And see if we can come up with some funny stories, because I bet you've got some. I bet you could pass on some funny stories of a random night out, a family barbecue, whatever it is. Or just a funny, chance meeting that changed the course of your life. If you have one of those stories and you fancy sharing it, send it over on a private message to me on Facebook. If there is anyone out there who genuinely would like to come on my podcast, any of my listeners want to come on and share their stories, and you might think to myself, why would I want to speak to Lisa? My life's really boring. Nobody's life is boring. We've all got our own different things going on. But if you're interested in coming on, come along. I've got a little queue that I'm waiting for a couple of people to come on. Got them lined up, trying to just align diaries, but I really would welcome you to come and have a voice. And before you tell me that you don't like the sound of your own voice, I don't want to hear it because you haven't going to listen back. No, you have. I'd love you to listen back, but the more you talk, and especially the more I send voice notes and played voice notes back, I've started to get used to the sound of my own voice as how other people hear it, because when we hear our own voice, don't we hear it differently. But yeah, this week, dream big. Follow the dreams. Keep those stories going so that no one's ever forgotten. And for goodness sake, live your life your own way. Anyway, that's enough from me. Have an absolutely amazing week. Thank you so much for listening to me. You don't understand how much it means to me, you guys listening. But more importantly, give us a little cheeky follow on Instagram if you haven't already done it. Miss Brightside25. And remember, see the positives even in the little things. And have an absolutely amazing week.